Commissioner Kiker is not available today, so you're stuck with me. So we'll call.
Careful. Oh, I meant that nice.
We'll call the Tourist Development Council meeting to order, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for a roll call.
Renee Afforded.
Here.
Fran Myers.
Here.
Forrest Banks.
Here.
Pamela Cronin. Here. Colleen DePasquale.
Here.
Robert Wells.
Here.
Joseph Regalo.
Here.
Jeff Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Larry Clapper, Kevin Ruane, and Tony Rocky are excused.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
Move approval. Second.
Right. Public to be heard. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to hit the mic, please?
Good morning. I'm Lisa Sputoni with Edison and Ford Winter Estates, and Jason Camp from Pinchers at the Marina at Edison Ford couldn't be here this morning, so he asked me to remind you all that right after the TDC meeting, you're all invited to the new Pinchers at the Marina. It's a phenomenal facility with meeting space, banquet space, and then of course Pinchers on the second floor, so I hope you all can make it, and all of you are invited also if you would like to come. And since I'm here, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the Edison and Ford Winter Estates activities that we're having. We're partnering with Pinchers this Friday night for Rhythm on the River. We're trying to make this a monthly event, but Danny Morgan will be there tomorrow night from 5:30 to 7:30, so you could see the sunset along the river and enjoy some cocktails and maybe dinner at Pinchers afterwards. We are also doing a Master Naturalist program at the Edison and Ford Winter Estates. It's a 40-hour program with Joanne Semper, who will, you will be certified like a Master Gardener. You could be certified as a Master Naturalist. That begins May 1st. We also have a Mustang car show because the Mustang is turning 50 years old this year. It was actually the first model that came out was a 1964 and a half, and I think we have several of those coming, and we're hoping to get every year of the Mustang. That's April 19th. And then we also have a whole series on the Moonlight Garden for May, including a walk at night of the Moonlight Garden on May 17th. So I hope you all can join us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. A lot going on. Anyone else?
Good morning. Jack Carver with the Florida RV Trade Association. Had a very busy season like everybody, and hope everybody's had a busy season. We've had 3 events so far, 19,000 people total, approximately. It's been a very good season for the RV industry, as I'm sure you're well aware of, Fran. And we have one more event coming up at the sports complex. So if anybody's interested in RV lifestyle or RVing at all, it's a free admission show, May 2, 3, and 4. And I invite everybody and all to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Anyone else? Hearing none, let's move to municipalities. We might get to Pinchers pretty quick today.
I know better than to keep you, Renee, from enjoying a refreshment at Pinchers.
Now, turn the mic off.
Judy Zamara, City Manager of Sanibel, and I just wanted to briefly speak to where the mayor is today, Mayor Ruane, who's a member of the TDC. The mayor is back in Washington, D.C. This is his 3rd trip relatively recently. As you may know, he was a part of the delegation that went up on the flood insurance with Commissioner Kiker, and they were extremely successful there. I don't know if everybody realizes, but some of the legislation that was adopted by the Senate actually was legislation that was taken forward for national implementation from Sanibel and our local Lee County delegation. So they had a tremendous impact there, which has an impact on all of us in our economic benefits. But what he's up there for this week with our Director of Natural Resources from Sanibel is working the congressmen and the senators on the appropriations portion of the WRDA bill, which of course WRDA is the National Water Bill that hasn't been adopted for 6 years. Up till now, the thought was that the battle would be in the conference committee, but it appears the battle is really going to be in the appropriations committee. So we're up there literally knocking on doors and meeting with congressmen. They had appointments in advance, of course, for those on the appropriations committee. So that's where he is this week. And last week they were in Tallahassee working on the legislation going through on the water projects at the State House. So we continue to keep that our top priority because we all know how important that is. So thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Any other municipalities to be heard? You are moving right along. All right. Tamara, you're on.
Okay. Well, you know, this is getting to be a common occurrence to be reporting very large bed tax increases to you. For the month of February, 16.9% increase over the previous February, 2013. And for year-to-date, 17.7% increase, more than $2 million up in the first 5 months of the fiscal year. Very pleased to report those numbers. You know, it's almost like pinch me. You know, it's going so smashingly well right now. I'm just wondering how we arrange this polar vortex thing every year. I don't know that the Northeast can survive it, but we certainly are enjoying it. Let's move on to the STAR report. As you would suspect, with those kind of numbers, the STAR report was very positive. Occupancy up 9 points, ADR at 5.3, 14.8%, excuse me, increase in RevPAR, and the room revenue 14.4. Again, a little dip in available rooms, and rooms sold up 8.6%. All very, very good numbers to be seeing. For February. And you know, what you have to remember is we were up last February too, so this isn't an up over a down, this is an up over an up, so that it's even more impressive in that context. Airport report, as we saw an increase, so did they, up 4.3% for February 2014 over 13. And it's important to keep that in context because I know there are definitely flight cancellations and other things that happen that affect that. So those numbers probably would be even higher if it hadn't been for some of the winter challenges, but still a very positive increase for the airport. Let's move on to the key indicators. And for the month, every key indicator up, total inquiries, leads, and partner referrals. Inquiries down year to date, but leads and partner referrals up. So very, very positive numbers overall. And now I will invite Pamela Johnson to, oh, wait a minute. I have 2 things I'm supposed to do. Are we going to do it right now? First, I'm excited to announce that yesterday we got word that we were nominated for a Webby. We are an honoree in the category of film in the travel and tourism section. Sorry, this is so new, I don't even have all the details because I was on a plane when I found out about it yesterday. But yeah, oh, look at Renee has it. Really excited about this. Really super good news to receive this. But this is for Awaken, and we all know what a beautiful piece it is. But you know, there is so much video being produced every year, and to be a nominee, you know, to be an honoree in this category is really something special. I mean, Travel and Leisure had 14 nominations, 14 Webby nominations. You know, keep in mind who the context of who the competition is for these things. So very, very pleased. And of course, you know, Cameron, who produced the piece, is thrilled. We had great email exchange yesterday. He's pretty excited about it. So we're going to see if we can't attend the Webby Awards. I think Kevin Spacey might actually chair the Webby Awards show. So that's big news. And then also, pleased to share with you that last month, Andrea Locke from the Westin in Cape Coral was named Starwood's Group Sales Manager of the Year. So we want to congratulate Andrea for her nomination, for her winning that award. That's just fabulous. So 2 pieces of good news to share with you this morning. Thanks, Renee. So with that, I will ask Pamela Johnson to give the sales report. The good news is that maybe this is the last sales report Pamela has to ever give. We are in the process of filling the sales director position. The applications have been flowing in, and soon, Pamela and I have a goal. I probably shouldn't say the goal, but we're shooting for June 1st to have a decision by then, because we're ready to have a sales director in place.
Absolutely, we are. Good morning, everyone. But I kind of like doing this. So
Yeah, well, I was thinking maybe you could start running the meeting. So,
hold on. Okay. Good morning. I have the January through March sales activity that I would like to share with you. Of course, typically during this time period, and especially this year, we received a lot of RFPs that are in the year, for the year, a lot that are in the next 6 months. But you can see before you and on the screen a few of the leads that, of the 45 leads that we received during this period. Typically, as with our destination, majority of the leads, when I looked at what types of groups are looking at our area, mostly associations and corporate groups. I'm particularly interested in the National Ice Cream Retailers Association meeting myself, and I hope that one comes through for us. And also you can see, again, as I mentioned, we're looking at groups in 2014, but as far out as 2019. So that's really good news. So again, 45 leads, and the average group size of those leads is 117 attendees for a total of a little over or just shy of 16,000 room nights. That's what we got in leads during this period. In terms of what was contracted and what went definite, no surprise as far as the groups. In terms of the time frame, again, it's the first 6 months of this year, so I'm sure a lot of people were. We're still seeing some, this used to be last minute in the meetings business, but I guess it's more the norm now. What was surprising to me is the diversity of the product that we were able to help this period, so really happy to see some of the smaller properties included in that. All right, and I just wanted to share with you this morning, in terms of the meetings business, real quickly, how we advertise some print executions that we've done, and we also took the time to talk to meeting professionals and ask them, what do you think of our advertising, brand awareness, is it resonating, so on and so forth. So back in August at our annual meeting, we shared with you how we try to stand out in the sea of sameness. When you look at a lot of the meetings publications, they're all pretty much the same. You're seeing interior and exterior shots of the property. You're seeing meeting rooms, and sometimes you'll see even a fake group smiling around in a networking situation. So MMGY did something different and came to us and said, what do you think about using the natural species that have been meeting in your destination for hundreds of thousands of years? And I said, I like it. So these are some of the print executions that we've done with the title that meetings feel more natural in Southwest Florida. So we have the turtles and the dolphins. This is a co-op execution, and then we have the birds. So
White pelicans.
The white pelican. Sorry.
The master naturalist will help you.
Yes, I'm showing my weakness. I know more about shoes than I do. I would be really, really good at a shoe quiz. But anyway, so there. We did these executions, MMGY, in a variety of meeting publications, and then again, like I said, we participated in an ad brand survey to find out, how we did, And overall, the feedback was really overwhelmingly positive. Our score was in the top 5 among brand awareness and likability of the ad, and just a few comments in terms of really enjoying the ad from meeting professionals. So this made us feel good, and we're going to continue on with that campaign. In terms of consumers, between January and March, we did about 50 trade shows domestically and internationally. And just most recently, we were at the Southern Women's Show in Nashville, which always gives us a really good turnout. And also Shelley was at the Milwaukee Journal show. And again, we go to key markets and really the kind of boots on the ground, face-to-face with consumers, telling them about the destination, giving them the Lonely Planet Guide, driving them to the website for bookings, for hot rates, those kinds of things. Back to meetings a little bit. Again, to develop relationships with planners, one of the things that we try to do is organize events so that we can get to know them in a different way. So there was a cooking event in Washington, D.C. with some of the meeting planners. Actually, this was back when they had that big snowstorm, and I see Kathy Innes and Andrea Locke in these pictures, and they got snowed in. They actually had to stay a little bit extra in Washington. But again, organizing, Washington, D.C. is the home of a lot of national associations. Our Representative Betsy Bush is doing a good job for us there. Same thing in the Midwest with Jerry Terp. Visit Florida had a meeting planner event in Minneapolis, and we participated. ITB, that was in March, and ITB is the largest travel show in the world. It's about 189 countries that were represented. It's not. I wish I had gotten something from YouTube to kind of show you. It's just hard to describe unless you've been there. But it's where the world comes to talk about travel and tourism. Very big, particularly a lot of the German-speaking countries are there. I have and we had 3 properties who went with us. We had Twin Waters, Sundial, and the Outrigger Beach Resort on Fort Myers Beach. I have the logo of Wicked Dolphin up there for a reason. Don't know if you all are familiar with Wicked Dolphin, but it's a company in Cape Coral that is a distillery of rum. And Wicked Dolphin, they do tours, about 12 tours a week. Joanne and Scott, a really nice family-owned business. And what we do at ITB is try to bring a little bit of the destination to the trade visitors that we're meeting with. So as part of our evening event, we served Wicked Dolphin spirits, and I didn't actually get a chance to taste, but I hear it's very good. And we also just recently took them on the road with us to Powwow in Chicago, which Tam just returned from. So we do this. We've done this with Norman Love. We've done this with a company on Pine Island that does their own jellies. Again, anytime that we can give something that shares something authentic from our destination, we try to do so. And that's more of ITB. My hair is always an obstructed view. I do apologize on some of these pictures. Also, on the international market, we're continuing to do a lot of things in the UK and Scandinavia. Worked with Brand USA. Of course, we're still part of the Florida Beaches Coalition, and that is a group of us, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, St. Pete, and am I missing anybody? What we do is we work together to promote ourselves in Scandinavia. We do a lot of shows together, and we started this many years ago because there wasn't an effort by Visit Florida. There's now more interest in Scandinavia from Visit Florida, but we've been doing it for a while, and we plan to continue to partner together in order to help the beaches. Also, we have representation in France. This is mostly from a PR perspective. But I was happy to see, I was at the Edison Ford Winter Estates yesterday, and they actually had a group in from France, a tour operator who's going to be bringing more French visitors. And when you look at, our international visitation, the 23%, obviously 8% is Germany, and then 5%, I believe, is Canada, 4% UK, and then that rest, that 6% is other. Scandinavia and France rank very highly. So we do a lot of outreach in France. And then finally, this is just where we're going to be in the next few months. But I did want to close by saying I did have the opportunity last night to have dinner with Bob Ball and the rest of the airport staff, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Air Berlin flight. And it was a really nice dinner. Bob, in true form, pushed for daily service from Dusseldorf, and certainly it's when you look at visitation, and particularly German visitation, I was very surprised to hear Germany, for the state of Florida, is actually like number 6, and for us, obviously, it's our number 1 international market. So it just shows the for a variety of reasons, certainly this destination is very much beloved and liked by Germans, but it does show you the power of that flight service. So that concludes my report for this morning, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Now that you're going to be moving up to this exalted position in June, are you going to arrange any shoe shows somewhere? What do you think?
I would love to. All right, thank you very much.
All right. Now we'll ask Judy to give her visitor services report.
Good morning, everybody. I have a wonderfully short but effective little report for you. I just wanted to give you some wonderful news about the last 3 months out at your visitor services department. We've had a total of about 145,000 visitors that we've worked directly with, and it's kind of neat to see that in January that's over 38,000 visitors, in February almost 50,000, and in March 55,000. It's a lot of people. We've had such a good time working with the traveling public. It's been a thrill, and our volunteers, frankly, are exhausted. They have just had such a good time talking to people. But the best part about that is they've actually given the county over 6,800 hours of donated service, which has saved the county over $155,000, which we think is pretty cool. And other neat things that are important to us to tell you about is we've had great partnerships the last 3 months with our partners. For example, we've worked with folks like Parrot Key Restaurant. We've taken the volunteers out to the Sanibel Islands to work with the Sanibel and Captiva Islands Chamber of Commerce. Zoomers Amusement Park, lots of different places to let the volunteers become more and more familiar with our product and keep them educated on what's happening in the area. In our Guest First arena, Christine, of course, has been very busy, and in the last quarter has absolutely just gone crazy with 16 classes. She's on hiatus right now, as you know. We'll pick up more Guest First classes in the summer. But she's had 234 attendees, 20 of which are CGSP graduates, which we think are pretty cool. And some of the other fun things that we've done the last 3 months are we've done some language translation assistance for our partners here in the VCB as well as in the community. We've had 123 E-Award nominations. We've had 47 Chrysalis Award nominations. We have just been going out there and working a lot with the public to spread the word about some programs that are coming up in the community. And of course, continuing our work. On the side, we have a visitor assistance program, as you know, and sometimes we become more and more active depending on what's going on. So as Tam alluded, the polar vortex kept us very busy with doing some hands-on traveler's aid type assistance. So we had 9 cases just in these past 3 months, which is pretty unusual for us. It doesn't quite get that crazy. And the last thing I wanted to share with you, and of course you do have the report in front of you, some of you may have realized, not the last thing, but you may have seen that the Boston Red Sox brought their World Trophies to the airport. That was really neat. We had visitors nonstop stopping at the booths, talking to our special mascot friends, and just having a good time seeing those trophies up close and personal. And as you see by the slide that's coming up shortly, these are a couple things that are coming up in the next 3 months. Some of you maybe have attended the volunteer luncheon. It was our 24th year. It was a lot of fun, great crowd. You're going to get a bit more report next month, but very well received. And we want to thank Siggy McIntyre for coordinating that event with you. And then, of course, the next two events, hopefully you're all ready to attend the rally, which will be on May 6th, the travel rally. And then, of course, the Chrysalis Awards on May 15th, which we're doing with our friends at the Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. So a couple of fun things happening. Be ready to get lots of information from us. And that is all I have. Yes, sir.
Hey, Judy. Number of volunteers assisting. I notice it looks like it's down. Does that mean that if you have less volunteers, they're working more hours, or was there a
It just varies. It
change?
varies. We don't have less volunteers. We're running right at 118, which is our normal numbers.
Okay.
But are you talking about our numbers assisting visitors every year?
Yeah, I guess I was looking at under special projects, and it looked like in 2013 you had like 157 volunteers, and it looked like in 2014 it was 75, if I'm reading it right.
That really equates directly to the types of projects and how many volunteers we need per project. So,
okay.
For example, Moore helped with all the projects we did last year, and this year we're up to just already 75. It varies depending on what it is. Like Roy Hobbs, later in the year you're going to see a ton of more volunteers on that list.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Judy, I just want to say that at the volunteer luncheon, I sat with 8 people from the airport, the volunteers. They were more knowledgeable than I was. I mean, they told me things I did not know. So that luncheon was fabulous.
I will let Siggy know.
Pam,
Thank you.
didn't you think it was really unbelievable?
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank you
really
for your
well
support.
done.
It means a lot to them that as many of you come as you can. It really is important to them to see that we tell them what you guys feel, but when you're actually physically there, it just really
Yeah, it was
lights
nice.
them up. So thank you for that. Thank you.
I assume that fellow who fell down is doing fine, right?
Yes, sir. He was actually more embarrassed than hurt. He
Okay.
actually was stepped back and got his feet tangled in the lighting, and he reached back to the curtain to catch his balance, and he sort of gently slid down the velvet curtain. But his pride was wounded. But we did do an incident report, but he was not physically hurt.
Better your pride than your body, right?
I know. He actually comes in tomorrow, and I know, knowing Herb, he's going to come in with probably this big hat that says, "Look at me," because he has no worries about ego and stuff like that. He's a very, very great guy. Thank you very much.
You know, just to add a little bit to that, I mean, the staff puts in an inordinate amount of time bringing that off. But I think that anybody who was in the room sees the camaraderie and the love between not only the staff and the volunteers, but between the volunteers with each other. It really is one big happy family. And, you know, I say this every year, but that and their holiday party are my 2 favorite things we do each year, because there's nothing like interacting with them. Pamela mentioned that I came back from Chicago last night from IPW. And, you know, I always make a point to stop. So when you guys go through the airport, please stop at the booth and thank them for being there and what they do for you. I think it just really means a lot to them to know how much we appreciate them. And, you know, it's cute. Sometimes they know me immediately, because usually I dress pretty casually when I'm traveling, especially if it's an all-day travel day. And sometimes they don't recognize me. So when I thank them, they're sort of like, why is she thanking us? But then I'm Tamara from the VCB. Then it's like, oh, okay, now I know who you are. But it's cute. They're a lot of fun, and you know, the camaraderie is really truly special. And you know, Judy, they know how much I appreciate them, but I think it's important that we all show them.
And if I could tell you, they always come afterwards and say, "Do you know who was just here? She was here." And I went, "Who?" "Your boss." Well, that's good. Did you know? Did you say the right things? They go, "We think so." Well, that's all that counts then.
Anyway, I have one more thing that I need to share with you. Jeff didn't have a report this month, and I know he's in the room, so I feel a little guilty sharing his good news with me. Maybe we want him to come up and do it. Jeff, it doesn't feel fair that I get to share the great news about spring training with you. So you want me to do it? Okay. Well, I'm sure you saw the report in the news press about spring training, but if you did not, the Red Sox finished second in total attendance with 147,669. The Yankees did edge them out. We can't let that happen for sure, with 151,564. But you see how close those attendants are. Despite losing 2 games to rainouts, the Minnesota Twins finished 6th in total attendance with 107,806. If their daily attendance average had been, if they'd had those 2 games, they would have come in at 4th place on the list. So, that 2-game rainout really did affect them. Only 6 teams in Florida enjoyed a total attendance over 100,000, and of course we had 2 of them. And then the lowest attendance in Florida was from the Houston Astros. They had 44,715. Just to put that in perspective, that's over 100,000 fewer than the Red Sox had. So, we really do have great attendance. Both teams enjoy super attendance. The ball fields, I was out a couple of times, once personally and twice on business, and they were packed and the crowds were happy. Lots of concession sales and sunburns and all the things you would expect to see, but very happy faces. So congratulations to Lee County Parks and Recreation and Lee County Sports Development for a fantastic spring training season.
I think in that same report, it showed that the Grapefruit League was head and shoulders above, what do they call it, the Cactus League? Yeah. Head and shoulders, so, numbers. So I think that's fantastic for our area.
And a copy of that news press article, in case you missed it, is in your packet, so just so you have it. So we will move on to the special presentations, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, we have 3 special presentations today. The first one, the Alico Family Golf. Is Craig here? Here he is. All right. He was here early. He was here when I got here.
Come prepared. Good morning. My name is Craig Ferry, PGA professional, partner, general manager, Alico Family Golf. I'm very honored to be here today to talk for a few minutes about what we are and what we have done and what we plan to do. First and foremost, it's been, I want to thank the board for listening to me. I thank the citizens who showed up today. This project was not easy to get done. And I'll go through a slideshow here in a second, real quick. But it wasn't easy. We got directed by over 8 banks. It took over 2 years to complete. It was built in about a little over 4 months. And the total project cost was $4.5 million. So we purchased 30 acres over there on Alico and Lee Road. And we're very excited about it. We've had a huge reception so far in the first 3 months of business. We've met our targets for revenues. But now going into we don't like to feel like we're a seasonal thing, and I'll explain more why that is here in a few minutes. But I'm just going to read some of my notes here. First and foremost, what does AFG have to do with building year-round tourism? I think that's an important question in this room today. And just to give you an idea of what it means is, first and foremost, we have people coming from around the world, PGA professionals and their students already. It's amazing bringing students in. We have a fellow this weekend from Canada. He heard about our facility online. He's here for a week. He's got 10 kids. They're playing an old corkscrew. They come to our facility every day. They couldn't speak enough about it and said they'll be back soon with multiple groups. It brings golf enthusiasts as well as families from around the country here. I can tell you that because I've talked to a lot of our customers already, and they're from Canada and Germany and all over the place, and had no idea we are up in business, and some of those people have some money to spend, and we're happy to court them and ask them to come back with some of their friends. Another big presence is the First Tee. We signed a 20-year partnership with the First Tee to be called the official home of the First Tee of Lee County. I'm not sure if you all are aware of what the First Tee of Lee County is, but it is a educational program. Specifically, the mission is to impact the lives of young people by providing educational programs that build character, instill life-enhancing values, and promote healthy choices through the game of golf. It's a national program. President George W. Bush sits on the board. There's a lot of influential people on that board, and they're happy to finally have a home here in Lee County. They're in Naples, Collier. They don't have a home there. And with this 20-year partnership, why 20 years? Because it gives people credibility that Lee County is ready and willing to devote resources to create a national junior golf program. Again, as a representative of Legal Family Golf, I'm very honored to announce that. That is a huge deal. What does that mean in terms of everyday life? Well, if you watch a golf tournament, you'll see First Tee brand on there. You know, people that know that will say, okay, Legal Family Golf, they're the First Tee of Lee County. We'll go there. That's where we're going to bring our kids. The kids participate in scholarships. They participate in internships with RBS, Coca-Cola, large Fortune 500 companies. We're filling out our board as we speak. We've got George McNeil and Nolan Hankey and Peter Jacobson, who will also sit on it. And what we've done down in Naples, we're gonna do even better here in Lee County. I know that because there's a lot more kids in Lee County than there are in Naples, and very excited to bring that to the floor today. Another reason why we can build tourism year-round is simply because people that are moving here that may not have the income to join a private club, they can experience our facility at a very cost-effective way and be treated like a member. It's something that, you know, down here we have a lot of facilities. A lot of them are private. So we'd like to be called like the community, you know, Legal Family Golf community, as a community place rather than just another private facility. With that said, just to give you a quick interpretation of what Legal Family Golf really is, we are a 30-acre plot of land that we purchased for $1.25 million. We have 60 grass tee boxes plus another 10 covered tee boxes. It's probably, I think, the largest driving range in Southwest Florida. If not, then it's at least one or two. We're lit every day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. We have an 18-hole miniature golf course. We have PGA instruction, golf schools, in addition to the First Tee. Every junior that comes to Legal Family Golf will fall under the First Tee umbrella. It's a very proud thing to say because of the values and the healthy choices that you teach, and then you teach the game of golf to them. But that's a secondary to what the First Tee offers. We have a short game area, putting green, chipper green. We have 9 holes of what we call a family short course. It's the second one in the country to be built. We're the first one in the country to have it lit. It's on 3 acres of land. The holes are about 40 to 80 yards long. We use snag equipment, which is plastic clubs, oversized club heads, and Velcro tennis balls. It's a great way it's a great first touch program. It's a great avenue for families, grandparents, mother and father, children to come and play together, learn the game of golf, experience it. You can't really do that on a golf course with that many people. The First Tee is the snag course is the reason why we signed that 20-year partnership with the First Tee. People have contacted me from Palm Beach, from Sarasota, from Colorado, and they continue to contact me about wanting to come for a visit and sit down and go over our plans of what we decided on that and how we drew it out and everything. We've also got national recognition with Snag Golf, which is located in Oklahoma. They have done national press releases on our facility already. And Jack Nicklaus last year just backed the Snag Golf equipment as the learning tool to bring new people into the game of golf. So we want to be known as a factory of golf, junior golfers in Lee County, and we will be. We also have a 5,600 square foot clubhouse that serves food and beverages. We signed a 5-year lease agreement with the Golf Guys in Bonita Springs. They're very well known here as well, so we're happy to have them on board for at least 5 years, hopefully more. We've signed a partnership with FGCU, a yearly partnership, which will continue to flourish. They approached us back before we were open for construction and asked us what could we do to help their PGM program out, and we'll be known as the facility for FGCU PGM student program. That means that all their kids will have access to our facility on a school year basis. They can come out, practice, hit balls, and if they're of age, maybe have a beer or two while they do it. And if they're not of age, maybe some soft serve ice cream. And bring their friends out and just enjoy the facility. We've also offer a golfer business and life class that we have, which is a 3-credit course elective to anybody in the school. And I'll show you by a slide. They've came out about 5 or 6 times, and brought people in from around the county to teach them and evaluate them. So that's a great deal there. Just to tell you a little bit more about a snag course, and then I'll just wrap up. Real simple is the snag course, like I said, is second in the country. First one lit. It's a great first touch program. You got to come out and try it out. And I have buy one get wins in my pocket here, if anybody would like to do so. The miniature golf, snag, or a combo. And you really got to come out and see it. And so I encourage you all to come out and see it. It is a very special thing. It's a gamble. I won't lie. It's a gamble. We don't know what the projections have been off. But we've increased every month since we've been open. We were open late with the snag course, unfortunately. So, and then the last thing is we also offer corporate outings, birthday parties, team building events, networking opportunities, other social functions as well. We have 2 party rooms, a decent size, 80-40 and 40-20. Feel free, anybody from the county that wants to hold anything private, just call me up and let me know, and I'll gladly offer you the room. We just want as many people to see the facility as possible. So I'm extending that invitation to you as well. We also had several Boston Red Sox people come to the facility. Jim Rice, Jake Peavy, a couple guys who were just upset that they didn't hear about this before they had to leave, and we'll definitely be back, and we encourage them to come back. Just to give you a quick slideshow, I think I'm supposed to hit this or something like that. Hit top. Okay. Well, does this work? Pressure's on. This is a public hearing. Thank you. That one? Okay. Thank you. So there's our land right there. The racetrack is on the corner being built right now. They're building a massive gas station right next to us. You can see our partners in crime here who are responsible for help building this facility. Some of my partners below on the left. Okay. Together, the project inception was myself and Jim St. Germain, who's since retired due to health reasons. So Jim is a stalwart in the community. He's taught a lot of people, like Mary Gibbs and people like that have really cared a lot about him and were instrumental in helping get this funded and passed through the county. So there's a little bit of information of the property. There's our conceptual plan. We have a 3-phase plan. Second phase will offer some more amenities to the public. Some will be golf related, some won't be as well. And there's the first 20-year partnership effective April 1st. It's kind of unique partnering up with a nonprofit, and we are for profit. We had about 12 meetings on it, back and forth, how are we going to make this happen? And it was important because if we didn't make some money on the deal, we would not be able to house all those kids there. And we were able to work it out through fundraising efforts and donations and all different types of stuff. I went over what we have there. There was our groundbreaking ceremony. That was a really fun experience. My friend Heather Fitzenhagen over there, she came to visit, and a few other people. So that was a fun time. There was our lighting test that we did. That was really cool to experience that. It was very unique. It's so dark and quiet outside there at night. It's amazing. They came on Monday. The FGCU Golf for Business and Life class came. They were pretty excited to come on out and use the facility, and it's good for us too. And there it is back in January. There was January 9th is officially called the Legal Family Golf Day, commissioned by Commissioner Pendergrass. It was a good day. We had a lot of fun there. We had them hit explosive golf balls. They didn't know they were doing that. There's some of our first tee programs right there. That was our first one. They're hitting them into the snag course. It's so unique. You can see the plastic clubs and the Velcro tennis balls. And then here's just some pictures, just to kind of entertain you for another minute. And there we are. You can see the grass. Grass is growing in back in February. So we were up against the gun on that, but we had all worked out. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to see me after the meeting. Again, I have BOGO cards in my pocket for anybody that would like to come. I appreciate the time spent going over Legal Family Golf, and I appreciate your attention in the matter. Thank you.
Well, good luck to you, Craig. Sounds like you had a rocky start, but things are moving along nicely now.
Yeah,
so.
one day at a time. Right?
All right. How about an update on the Captiva erosion project funding? Roland is here.
As Roland's walking up, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. If you'll remember, every year you allocate funds for beach renourishment projects, and essentially those funds go into the beach and shoreline reserve pot so that when Roland or any other entity in the county needs to access those funds for a beach renourishment project, they're available. Of course, when they pull those funds out, they go to the Board of County Commissioners. They're not coming back to you each time. But since this was a change that I felt like you just need to be at least made aware, it's supposed to go to the board, and I'll let Roland turn it over.
Great. Good morning, Chair and Council. I'm Roland Ottolini. I'm the Director for Lee County's Division of Natural Resources. Just thought I'd provide you an update of an issue that's going before the Board of County Commissioners next Tuesday, April 15th, and that is a request from the Captiva Erosion Prevention District to up the cap for the county participation by $1 million. So it would be up to $7.1 million total. To give you a little history, in June of 2013, Lee County entered an agreement with the Captiva Erosion Prevention District to provide funds for the local share for that project, recreational and storm protection benefits to the county, as well as the other partners involved. And at that time, we anticipated Army Corps of Engineers participation as well as state DEP. CEPD went out for bid on the project in July, and 2 days before the bids were to be opened, the Corps of Engineers backed out. They had cited that there were some issues with the easements that they obtained and access to the beach as well as along the shoreline. They do not recognize the state erosion control line as being public. So therefore, they decided that they did not feel that those easements either had to be perfected or they would back out their cost share. And the Corps' cost share represented about $7.8 million towards the project. The Captiva Erosion Prevention District elected to go ahead and move forward without federal participation. Initially, when we went to the board with their interlocal agreement, we were anticipating about a $4.9 million TDC or funding for the project with a $6.1 million cap. With the cap was in case the bids came in high. In this case, the bids were pretty much as estimated, however, around $20 million. However, with the federal participation pulling out using the same cost share percentages that we agreed to in our local agreement, it resulted in that $1 million increase. So that is the gist of it. The project was successful. They laid about 864,000 cubic yards for about 6 miles of shoreline along the Captiva Island. So it's a very successful project. Looks real good. And if you have any questions, I'm here to try to address them.
Questions?
Roland, has Lee County ever looked at buying their own equipment? I mean, I know, that's huge, but with the amount of shorelines we have and the prices they're getting for moving all that big equipment and piping and stuff in, have we ever looked at that?
We have been requested to look into that possibility. The issue there is the equipment is very expensive and very expensive to maintain. Even those who are professionals in it that operate the equipment all the time, the downtime of that equipment is pretty significant while they're even out there. You're dealing with equipment that's in the salt environment. It's very, very temperamental. I would think you'd have to have a lot of projects, not only in Lee County but also regional. And what we try to do is we work projects in concert with what Collier County's doing or with Charlotte County in terms of if those projects are let on the street, if there's a dredger in the area, they could potentially provide good bids on our project. So it's really a market-driven. I think the equipment's very expensive, very huge capital investment. I'm not sure if we'd get the return on that.
Have we ever looked at it?
Have we done a formal cost benefit? No, we have not. I know Jacksonville District, the Port Authorities have been requested to do it at one time, and they had decided that it was not in their best interest to own the equipment either. But no, we haven't done a formal cost benefit.
Is it one of the challenges, like the type of dredge you use might be different for different projects? I mean, the kind.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on your sand source, the hopper dredge. If you're going 8 miles offshore versus dredging an ebb shoal, the type of equipment may be significantly different. So you'd have to have a lot of variation of type of equipment conduct those projects. Question?
That piece of equipment you had off of Tween Waters on Captiva, you look at it, looked like a city out there at night. It's all lit up.
It is.
This is a huge piece of equipment.
It is. It is.
Anything else? Roland, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, in our final presentation, an update on the Manatee Park project funding.
You'll remember this came before you last month as an emergency project, so Damon is here to give us an update.
Good news, we hope.
Good morning, Councilman Damon Grant, Lee County Construction and Design, here to update you on the Manatee Park Canal Bank Improvement Project. Just to give you a little history, Manatee Park is just off of State Road 80. It's one of the busiest parks that Lee County operates. I believe that over 200,000 people each year come to observe the manatees off of the Discharge Canal. For the past 6 years, we've been providing improvements to the canal bank to allow for a safer viewing platform. This year, we had $145,000 that we were going to move forward with what we thought was going to be the last and final section of those improvements, and that would go from where we left off to the northern part, or basically to the highway of the Discharge Canal. Several weeks ago, Parks employees out at the Manatee Park site notified us that they were seeing significant erosion on the southern half of the Discharge Canal to the south of the lagoon. My staff went out with our consultant, and after looking at the issues and doing some research and analyzing it, it is eroding basically 3 times faster than the northern section we were preparing to make improvements to. We brought that to the attention of TAMRA and the Coastal Advisory Committee, and we had recommended that perhaps we should look at that section of Canal Bank and doing those improvements, basically leapfrogging that section above what we had planned to do at the north end. That went very well. I think we were preparing for next week to go to the board and ask for the budget to be approved. Unfortunately, a little disappointing news, we found that the southern portion that we're seeing all these erosion problems happening, we do not have the Army Corps of Engineer permit, and we don't anticipate being able to secure that this construction period, which is March 31st to November 15th, is basically our window of opportunity around the manatee season to get in and do the work. So what I'm recommending is that we revert back to what our original plan was, and to the northern section, which we do not need money for, we have money to do. And the next year, our staff will work with TAMRA staff to decide how we're going to handle the southern portion. In the meantime, I've touched base with the Parks and Rec staff, and we're going to need to work with them to fill in and basically provide a Band-Aid for these erosion problems until we can secure the Army Corps of Engineer permit and do the construction.
Thank you,
Any questions?
No, obviously, that means that the emergency funds you approved, they won't be going forward, so there will be no withdrawal from reserves for those emergency funds. So they're going to proceed with the project they had. I think there is, we also had discussed the request that's in the upcoming cycle, which you're about to hear a little bit more about. In fact, on my list to give you a reminder is that we have our beach and shoreline workshop on April 23rd. And you will have the requests. Remember, this is the online request system that we've used the last couple of years. You'll have those by the 14th of this month, but the actual meeting, the workshop, will be on April 23rd. You will have that request in there. We had talked about even combining them if there would be some cost savings, which we determined there would be, but without the permit, there's really no point going. Why ask you for the emergency funds if they can't spend them in the time frame? So they're just going to proceed as they were.
So Damon, at this point, it's just going to be through any season a Band-Aid approach to just try and
That's all we're going to
keep
be able
things
to
in
do.
check until
Right. We're going to continue to fill that in, and it's not going to solve the problem,
No.
that southern section, but we'll continue to do that and then focus on the north end. That northern piece, it's about 230 feet of work we can get done. We're actually going to go out to bid with that in the next few weeks, granted that this was approved, and do that work before November. and then we'll be continuing to work to secure the core permit and look to start that as long as we can get the funding through bed tax dollars for next April. And we would jump right on that right after manatee season ends in March 31st and try to hit that right in April and get that completed.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Since we're putting this off another year, and I know you're going to try and Band-Aid that, will that stop or slow down the erosion process? Can we expect it to be twice as bad next year as it is now?
It's going to, I mean, what you have out there now is a sidewalk, you have a fence, you have a bank, and then the canal. And what we're seeing is erosion eating away at the distance between the fence and the top of the outside portion of the canal bank. And what we're going to need to do is continue to put some sort of reinforcement in with basically fill behind it. So it's not going to get any better. It'll get somewhat worse, but we're going to try to slow down the rate of the erosion.
Slowed down. Okay.
Is there an issue with the project through the Army Corps?
Well, that's a good question. The Army Corps of Engineers, we can't anticipate when they're going to approve this. We were hopeful to have it, but it can take us several months to secure this. And you know, talking with our consultants, they have applications in that have taken 6 or 8 months. They've had others in that took 2 or 3 months, but it's nothing that we can count on. And that, coupled with the manatee season that we have to work around, it just, in my mind, didn't qualify for emergency funds, as we're not going to be able to get to it till next year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have any old business to discuss? Seeing none, how about some new business? In time here. All right, before we start on council information, you had a few things?
I do have a couple of things. One, you'll remember last month you approved a budget increase recommendation that I presented to you. That actually goes to the Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday. So just remind you of that is upcoming. And if you have any thoughts to share with your commissioners, now is the time to do so. And also, last month, you'll remember I presented no, actually, I guess it was in February, I gave you the final quarter report from DPA. Remember, Marcia couldn't get in. The snowstorm prevented her from getting in. We have the final 2013 report from DPA, and I've put that in your packet. It's the last item in your packet, but that gives you all the backup detail rather than just the summary that I gave you when I made that presentation. So I just wanted to remind you those were in there. And there's also some good international number estimations, and we'll give you a complete summary on IPW when we get to next month. So just getting back last night, and officially, of course, I missed the last day traveling yesterday. So I know we had a really the meetings I sat in on Monday and Tuesday were very, very good. We had our joint party with Visit St. Pete Clearwater on Tuesday night. Very successful party, well attended. Commissioner Kuiper was able to join us. I think it's always good for our TDC members to see what happens at those shows, and I know he left really glad that he was there. So he unfortunately couldn't join us today because he had a meeting in Tallahassee. He and Roger both had a meeting with the governor, so they were off to take care of that. So that's my final words on today. Except, remember, when we leave, we're going over to Pinchers.
The governor's going to be here today at 21st Oncology at 2:30 this afternoon, I heard. So busy lad, yeah. You know, on those documents that you have attached to what you sent out, there's a couple of good things in there that, and I know they're lengthy, but before you delete them, there's one in there from the Florida Economic and Demographic Report. There's like 50 pages. But if you're a number cruncher, there's some good data in there. There's some positive numbers. For example, housing sales are getting back up to the peak of 2005. I didn't know this is statewide now. But anyway, take a look at that before you delete them, even though they're a bit lengthy. Also, you mentioned the DPA. I think they just went out asking, they're starting on the new survey. And if you're in the hotel business, tell your people who do that to be sure and fill that thing out, because it's critical for the data that we get. The only thing, I think everything's happening on Tuesday. Tuesday, your taxes are due to. So don't forget that. All right, TDC member items. Let's start with Pamela. Oh my goodness. No. Not
Well,
ours.
Well, we want to congratulate Jeff and Doug for their outstanding attendance figures and all the work they're doing. And one thing that the city of Fort Myers has done is we're trying to show open arms to Edison State College if they soon to be Florida Southwestern State. They play baseball. We would love to have them downtown. And on the city front, which will be an interest to everybody, we're going to rework Fort Myers Country Club. Some of that grass out there is a descendant of grass that was planted in 1917. And the drainage has never been great because when they built it, they didn't ever expect to play in the summer. So that's going to get done and improved, and some of the holes are going to get relocated so that balls that get hit out, maybe a few balls less will land and hit in Cleveland Avenue and things like that. But we opened those bids last week. The construction manager at Risk is reviewing them, and rumors are that we have an acceptable package, but that's not official. I get in trouble. So we hope that we're underway in a couple of weeks, and if we can get the grass to grow, and I think you're an expert in watching grass grow and hoping and praying that it grows faster, that sometime in the fall we'll have a significant facility. And anybody in the hospitality business, I hope everybody knows it, because if you don't have access to a good golf facility, Fort Myers Country Club is going to fill the bill for you.
Thank you, Boris. Joe?
I would like to formally congratulate the city of Bonita Springs, to support my hometown. They were named, I think, last week or the week before, in magazine as one of the top 20 retired. So we were very excited. If you're looking to retire, come to Bonita Springs.
But you're not going to do that anytime soon, are you?
No, tax day is Tuesday, and that kind of keeps me working.
Jeff?
Your Lee County Hotel Association has some upcoming events. On April 24th, we're going to be having our luncheon down at that gorgeous building called City Pier Building here in Fort Myers, the former Art of the Olympians. And the speaker is going to be County Manager Roger DeLarge, if I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. And then in May, we're going to have a little something different. We're going to do a late afternoon mixer as opposed to a luncheon. It's going to be at the Alliance of the Arts. Our speaker is going to be Lydia Black. So it's going to be, instead of a lunch sit-down, it's going to be more of a pass-around hors d'oeuvre and some spirits, I think, would be very nice at that point, right? And then in June, our speaker is going to be Richard Michaels, who's the new executive director of Lee County EDO, and we're going to be doing our luncheon at the Hyatt Resort in Bonita Springs. So that's for the next 3 months. Hope you guys will come out and join us.
I don't have a lot, Renee, but I'm sorry that I don't have the airport report this morning. They did not get that to me, but I will see that it's all mailed to you. But Tamara is right, with the amount of things that happened out there, with the snow up north and the cancellations. To know that the airport's still up, they had over 300 flights canceled in one month. So to say that they're up is really a big thing after all those cancellations. I would just like to say Happy Easter to everybody, and that out on Fort Myers Beach, especially for the hoteliers in the room, we're doing a huge Easter egg hunt, and that'll be on the 19th, which is Saturday before Easter. And so for all the hoteliers, we invite all the tourist kids too. We have about 300-400 kids. And I'm happy to report we're working with the town of Fort Myers Beach. I see our new manager, Don Stillwell, in the back of the room, who used to sit next to me here. at this table, but he's been very helpful in putting things together for us. So we would invite all, if you're not having one on the island, send your kids over to us because we'll take care of them.
I mean, the reason you didn't get a report today is because of that Air Berlin party last night, right? Thank you, Fran.
You're right.
Well, Pamela made it.
Colleen.
To follow up, the Chrysalis Awards are May 15th. We still have tables and trade show tables available. We hope you guys can make it. It's going to be a great event. And we are also hoping that the grass goes in on time at that country club because my golf tournament is probably going to be the first event they hold once they reopen. So if that grass goes in by July 1st, they're telling me we're in a good place. So keep your fingers crossed. We are also doing, for the first time, we have created a collaborative event that we will roll out at the end of this month, but it's August 28th. We're doing a business symposium that we're going to work with. It's going to be regional with some, we'll work with Collier County, Naples, Cape Coral, and those guys, other chambers, and see if we can. I'll bring you more information on that. But August 28th, we're going to do a business symposium. We have a great opening panel with Wayne Kirkwood, Samira Beckwith. We're working on our keynote speaker for the luncheon, but there'll be 9 breakouts and 3 different tracks. Something different for us, but we want to make sure we'll share all that if you guys would like to join us for that.
I have nothing other than go Fran, happy Easter everybody that celebrates the rest of I like late Easters. Those are good for us all. So and hopefully everybody will keep the numbers up through April. Thanks.
Well, I guess that's it. No other business. The meeting is adjourned.
Pinchers. Let's go to Pinchers.
Good job.
Get settled.